new lecture. So today we are going to study about map, reduce, and filter function. So what is map function, what is filter function, and what is reduce function? So how does they work, and how we will use in our day-to-day programming? So today we are going to discuss about them in this lecture. So let's take here a list. So list is equal to, let me take integers in this list: 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma 6, comma 7. So this is our list. Now let me write a function which will take the power of the list. So let me take function, and we are creating an empty list because it will store the power of the integers of the list on which we are applying the operation. So for I in, so let me give an argument here. So L is our argument. So for I in L s, we are going to append our result into this list. So we are giving the name of the list, and we are using append function to append it with the, so I is our variable, and we are going to apply the power and 2. So it will take the power of 2, and now we want to return the ls. Now we want to return our list. So let me call this function with the name of the function. So we are calling our function here learn, and we are passing the list here. So our list name is lst. So let me pass the name of the list, and now we run it, we get the square of all the numbers in this list. So we earlier have seen that we are using our previous method using loop for getting the power of the elements in the list. Now let's try another method using the map function. So what this map function will do, it will map the elements for us. So here if we see the arguments which it takes a function and iterable. So iterable are those which we can iterate, and function. So here we can pass function, like we can pass lambda function or anonymous function, or we can also define our function for it. Let me take a function of square, and we have to pass an argument, like we pass the argument, and what it will do, it will return, what it will return, it will return power of x for us. Now if we run this function, this executes successfully, and I did not pass the parameter, so it actually came below. So let me pass. So it takes two arguments, like first is function and then iterable. So let me pass a function here. So what is the name of the function above? We are using square function, and let me pass the list. So what is our list? So our list is lst. So we are passing our list, and now if we run that, we are getting map. So it basically defines us that this is a map function. So let's convert this into a list so that we can see the result output here. So let me convert it into a list. Now if we run it, we can see that we are getting the same output as we had seen above. Like here, the value which we are getting, the same we are getting here, but in this case we are using map function to find the value for us. So basically what happening here is that it is reading the element from the list one by one and mapping it into x. So after mapping it to x, the x multiplied with power of 2, and it prints the element one by one for us. So it results, it lists the map element and applies the square operation on them, and then returns the list of the elements. Now we are going to perform this same operation using lambda function. So let me take copy this and paste it here. And now what we want to do, we want to apply here lambda function. So using the lambda and x colon power of x 2. So if we run it again, we can see the same output. So in this case, we are bypass the complex logic for us, and we had just chosen a simple method to get the power of the elements in the list. So let's take another example. Here we are going to take two lists and we want to add the list by their index number. So L1 is equal to list. So we have listed 1 comma 2 comma 3, sorry, 3 comma 4, and L2 is equal to, sorry, L2 is equal to L2 is equal to 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. So what we want to do, we want to add the index of the list. So actually we want to add the elements using the index. So one we want to add the first index with the first index of second list. So 1 plus 5 6, 6 plus 2 8, 3 plus 7 10, 4 plus 8 12. So how we can do that? We have to nothing change, like just we have to just create a list, and we have to use a list, and inside the list we want to use map because we want to map our elements, and here we create a lambda function. So let me create a lambda function here, and what it takes, the lambda function takes two arguments, and because we have here two lists, so we have to pass two arguments here. Name could be anything, you can define any name. So here what we want to add the indexes. So plus y, add the element using the indexes. So and here uh, first we have passed the function, so this is our function, and then we have to pass the iterable. So this star indicates that uh, n number of elements we can pass as an iterable. So our list is iterable, so we can pass two lists here, so no issue, we can pass it again, L1 L2. So now if we run it, we are getting the expected output. So what we are getting, like in first index we are getting 6, 5 plus 1, 2 plus 6 8, 7 plus 3 10, and 8 plus 4 12. So this is a simple example using a map function with the help of lambda to get the elements adding using their indexes. So earlier we had seen a lambda function, so let us try using an external function. So let me create a function name add, and let me take two parameters x comma y. So what it will return, it will return x plus y. Now if we run it, it executes successfully, and let me call the list, and inside the list we are using the map function, and the map function takes two parameter function and iterable. So first we have to pass the function, so we had passed our add function, and then we are passing our iterable. So L1 comma L2. So if we run it again, we are getting the same output. So we had performed mapping using external function and lambda function as well. So here we are taking another example of a string. So what we want to do, this string, that we want to convert this string into uppercase. We can use s dot upper, but let me try this using map function. So we are using map, and inside the map we are calling the lambda function. So lambda function here, and s colon, s is our string, so it could be any name, s dot upper. So we are calling the upper function here, comma. So this is our first our lambda function, and then we pass iterable. So we are passing as our iterable. So we can see that output in our uppercase. So we are having all the string elements in uppercase. So we had covered the basics about the map. So now let's move towards our next topic of reduce function. So we cannot call reduce using the reduce keyword. We have to firstly import it, then we can use it. So we have to first import it from function tools, import reduce. So now we have imported a reduce for us, and let me take a list here. So I am taking a list which which contains variables, uh, integers as 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what I want to basically reduce this list and get the summation of, like I want to get the addition of all the elements as a result. So how can we do that? So let's see here. uh, we have to call the reduce function. So what does the reduce mean? It will reduce the size. Like there are 6 elements, so it will reduce it to a single digit entity or single number. So we are using reduce function, and let me call lambda function here. So we are using lambda function, and what it will take two parameters. Like it will take two parameters, and then it will return what? It will return this summation of these two parameters. And so here we can see that in our reduce function we also take first parameter as a function, then iterable. So our list is iterable. We are passing the list as ls. So now if we run it, we can see that we are getting 21 as output. So how basically it is working? Like it takes first element as x and second element as y. After adding these two, we get output as 3. 3 is then assigned to x and y is moved to next, like 3. So 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So x, so 6 is stored in x and y moved to next. So y is equal now 4. So 4 plus 6, 10, and after that same as y keeps iterating next and x contains the previous value. So we can, at the end we get 21 as our result output. So let's see that if we can pass three parameters to our reduce function. So let me call the lambda function here, and earlier we were passing two parameters. This time we are going to pass three parameters there, and we want to return x plus y plus z comma list. Now if we run it, we are getting that you can see error. So lambda function is missing one required argument. So it is basically giving us error that we cannot get the value of z here. Why? So if we see here that first we take, let me assign again here, like first is x, second is y, third is z. So again we this value gets stored in x, and y move to this, and z move to this. So again the result of these value gets stored, and then x and then y and z. So it is missing the values. So the number of elements in the list are not equal to the xy, and basically we cannot take three arguments in reduce at any point of time. So it is prohibited and is not allowed to take three parameters. It only takes two parameters as an input to perform reduce function on it. So you might can say that if it cannot take two elements, there could be a condition where there is only one element in the list. So how could this work for the single element? So let me take here an argument like x and y in this lambda function, and let me add these arguments x and y comma list 1. So here we can see that we have only one element in the list, and if we run it, so what would be our expected output? Are we expecting any error, or it will execute successfully? Let's see this. So if we run it, we are getting 1 as a result. So you can say that it is taking two arguments x and y, and there is only one element in list. So how it works? So basically it is an exception case only for this single variable. Like if there is only one element in the list, it would work, but it would never work for three arguments. If we take three arguments as an output, as an input for lambda function or any external function we create, we cannot take more than two arguments in this reduce function. So let's take another example. Let me take the our list. So we have this list. So what I want basically to get maximum from this list, like the number which is maximum in this list, I want to get as an output. So 6 is our maximum. So let's write reduce function because it will reduce our list to single array integer. So let me reduce use the reduce function here, create a lambda function. So what this lambda function will do, it will take two parameters as an argument, and what we want to do, we want x if x is greater than y, else return y for this list. So what is basically happening here, it is taking first argument as x and second as y, and it will check if x is greater than y, then it will return x, else it will check y. So it will iterate through whole the list and it will return as the output. So if we run it, so we are getting 6 as maximum. It will iterate one by one. X and y gets changing, and it will run till the end of our list to get the expected output for us. So that was the basic we covered about reduce. Now let's move to a filter function. So let me take our list here. So again we are calling our list. So what we get our expected list. So what we want basically all the even numbers from our list. So how we can get that using the filter function. So let me first take list here, and inside the list we want to call the filter function. So what the filter function will take, it will take iterables and function. So if first it will take function or none. So we can pass the function or none as well. So here we can have function or none and other iterable. So let me pass a function here. So let me call a lambda function here. We can choose external function as well. So we can get the expected output. So here x percentile to, sorry, is equal to 0 comma list. So now we had get our even number in the form of list. So what it will do here, like it will first check 1, if it is modulus is equal to 0, like if remainder comes 0, then it will check that is even number, either it skip it. So after running the filter function using the lambda, so we are getting our even number as a resulted out. So already we had find the even number, so we can perform the same action to get the output as odd number. So here we are using equal to, we change with it with not equal to. So now if we run it, we are getting the odd number than output. So let me give another condition here, like we are taking our list here. So what we want to do, let me create another list here, like list 1 is equal to, sorry, so here we can, so let me take a list which contain different integers here, 1 comma 2 comma 3, and negative numbers here also, like 3 comma minus 2 comma 0 minus 5 comma 0. So here we have our list here. So what we want our filter function to filter all the negative integer from the list. So let me create a list here, create a list function, and inside the function we called our filter function, and inside filter function we are creating our lambda function. What this lambda function will do, it will basically check that if x is less than 0, like the x is now one element from the list, like it will filter one by one element passing it as an x, and it will check the condition for 0, and from where, from our list 1. So now if we run it, we will get all the negative integers from only. So this is a basic filter function to filter all the negative numbers from our list. So this was all for today. Please practice it and try different combinations using string, numbers, integer, float, so that you can get better hands-on dirty with the concepts of map, reduce, and filter. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. We will meet in next lecture, inshallah. Okay, Allah Hafiz.